Picture this. You're in your modified 2004 Civic, intake, exhaust, the works, and some dude in a Charger pulls up next to you at a red light and revs his engine. Your rational brain says, don't do it. This isn't Fast and Furious. But your ego is screaming. So you slam that gas pedal at green, weaving through traffic at 90 miles an hour on a 45-mile-an-hour road, phone mounted on the dash recording for the gram. You don't see the car pulling out of a parking lot until it's too late. The impact sends you through the windshield because of course you thought seatbelts were uncomfortable, and you land on a wrought iron fence. One of those decorative posts goes straight through your abdomen, nicking your abdominal aorta. Your car's totaled, your phone's still recording, and you're about to become a very graphic PSA. Congrats, bro. So let's talk about what just happened to you, street racer extraordinaire. You went from, I'm posting this on TikTok, to, I'm about to be a live leak video in approximately 3.4 seconds. And I gotta say, the irony of dying while trying to look cool is just chef's kiss. Your last coherent thought was probably about whether your phone caught that sick launch, and now it's definitely catching your final moments. The algorithm's gonna love this content. The immediate aftermath. Seconds 1 to 30. Okay, so that fence post just punched through your abdomen like it's opening a particularly stubborn can of beans. Except the can is you, and the beans are your internal organs. The decorative iron spike, because someone just had to make their fence look fancy, has just nicked your abdominal aorta. For those of you who skipped anatomy class, that's the absolute chonker of an artery that carries oxygenated blood from your heart to, well, everything below your chest. Here's the thing about the aorta. It's under serious pressure. We're talking about 120 millimeters of mercury during every heartbeat, which means when it gets punctured, your blood doesn't just leak out, it jets out like a broken fire hydrant. Your body is pushing out about 5 liters of blood, and at the rate you're hemorrhaging, you've got maybe 3 to 5 minutes of consciousness left. Fun fact, that's less time than it takes to soft-boil an egg. Your body immediately knows something is catastrophically wrong. Your sympathetic nervous system, the oh shit system, goes into full panic mode. It dumps adrenaline into your bloodstream like a college kid dumps sugar packets into bad coffee. Your heart rate skyrockets, trying to compensate for the pressure drop. We're talking 120, 140, 160 beats per minute. Your heart is working overtime. Except here's the dark comedy of it all. Every beat is just pushing more blood out of that hole. Your body is literally trying to save you by killing you faster. Minutes 1 to 2, the false hope phase. Spoiler alert, you might actually feel kind of okay at first, and that's the cruelest part. That adrenaline dump I mentioned, it's making you feel wired. You might even try to stand up, convinced you're fine because you've seen people in movies shake off worse. This is called the talking and dying phase in trauma medicine, and it's exactly as messed up as it sounds. Your blood pressure is dropping fast. Normal blood pressure is around 120/80. You're currently sitting at maybe 90/60 and falling like your Civic's resale value. Your body starts triaging like a battlefield medic, making brutal decisions about what gets oxygen and what doesn't. It shuts down blood flow to your skin first. That's why you're getting pale and clammy. You're literally turning the color of uncooked dough. Your hands and feet? Cut off. Non-essential. Your digestive system? Your kidneys? Sorry, not today. Your body is routing everything to your brain and heart, the VIP organs, desperately trying to keep you conscious and alive. But here's where it gets really cooked. You're shivering uncontrollably despite the fact that it might be 75 degrees outside. That's your body losing its ability to regulate temperature. Blood carries heat, and you're currently redecorating that fence with yours. Okay, but what does this actually feel like? Let me paint you a picture since I've got the exclusive behind-the-scenes access to death. The pain hits different than you'd expect. That initial impact? Yeah, that hurt like absolute hell. Your body just got impaled. But now? It's weird. It's there, but the adrenaline is dampening it, turning it into this weird, cold sensation. It's like your brain is buffering, trying to process what's happening, but the connection keeps dropping. You're freezing, like bone-deep existential cold, the kind of cold that makes you want to curl into a ball, except you can't because there's literally a fence post through your torso. Your teeth are chattering so hard you might chip one. People around you are screaming. Someone's probably called 911, and you're just shaking like a chihuahua in a thunderstorm. Minutes 3 to 4, the point of no return. Welcome to what we call hemorrhagic shock stage 3, which is medical speak for you're catastrophically cooked. You've lost about 40% of your blood volume now. Your blood pressure has dropped so low that your body can't perfuse your organs anymore. That means oxygen isn't getting where it needs to go. Your brain, starved of oxygen, starts malfunctioning in creative ways. You're confused, deeply confused. You might not remember the crash. You might not know where you are. Someone's asking you your name, and you're looking at them like they're speaking Klingon. This is called altered mental status, and it means your brain is literally shutting down from lack of oxygen. Your heart is screaming now, beating 180, 200 times per minute, absolutely redlining, trying to circulate blood that isn't there anymore. It's like pumping water from an empty well. Each beat is weaker than the last. Your body is running on fumes, and it knows it. Here's the really messed up part. You might actually feel calm, peaceful even. That's not spiritual enlightenment, bro. That's hypoxia. Your brain, lacking oxygen, starts releasing endorphins and other chemicals that create this weird sense of euphoria. People who've survived near-death blood loss describe it as floating or dreamlike. It's your brain's last mercy, making sure you don't spend your final moments in terror. Minute 5. Lights out. Your heart, exhausted from trying to pump nothing, starts failing. It goes into what's called pulseless electrical activity. It's still trying to beat, but there's not enough blood volume to create actual circulation. You lose consciousness. Just lights out. No dramatic movie speech, no flashback montage, no seeing your life flash before your eyes. Just a fade to black faster than your TikTok fame would have lasted anyway. So, here's what happens next. EMTs arrive, probably within 8 to 10 minutes if you're lucky. They find you pale, cold, pupils fixed and dilated, no pulse. They might try to resuscitate you, but with that kind of blood loss and that much time elapsed, you're done, dude. Cooked. Finished. Your phone, by the way, is still recording. That footage becomes evidence. Your mom has to identify your body. Your friends have to live with the fact that they watched you die over a street race that literally nobody except you cared about. The guy in the Charger? He drives away and sleeps fine that night. He never even knew you were racing him. How to not end up like this? Okay, real talk from your friendly neighborhood ghost. 1. Wear your seatbelt. I know, it's uncomfortable and wrinkles your shirt. You know what else is uncomfortable? Being impaled on decorative ironwork. 2. Your car is not an extension of your penis. Nobody's impressed by your 0 to 60 time except other dudes who also have insecurity issues. 3. And listen closely to this one, clout is temporary, death is permanent. Your Instagram story lasts 24 hours. Being dead lasts forever. Ask me how I know. So, there you have it. Bleeding out, the unfiltered, no Hollywood BS version. It's cold, it's confusing, it's faster than you think, and it's absolutely preventable. If you enjoyed this morbid deep dive into the worst decisions you could make, and let's be honest, enjoyed is doing some heavy lifting, go ahead and subscribe. I've got nothing but time. Stay safe out there, dude. And for the love of all that's caffeinated, wear your seatbelt. This is your ghost host reminding you that I've got insider knowledge on dying because I'm living, well, not living proof. Catch you in the next one. Hopefully not in person.